Hello, guys. Thank you so much for joining us once again, and welcome to Aquaba Canada channel. We always thank you for being part of this channel, and we also continue to thank you for sharing, for liking our videos, and especially for subscribing. Thank you so much. We hit 100 just last night. We're excited, and we say bless you, everyone. Don't forget to like this video if this is the first time you're joining us. And don't forget to share with someone, because you sharing will ensure that it reaches a lot of people. You liking the video, as I always say, will ensure that YouTube shares with a lot of people and makes it available to them. Continue to subscribe to the channel. Thank you once again. So today, you remember we did a video just this week and we uploaded a video, and we're trying to touch on the need for brothers and sisters who are on study permits, international students especially who are on study permits, who are in Canada and are supposed to be studying, and we're emphasizing that you need to ensure that you take your studies seriously. If you didn't watch that video, go watch that video, because there's a lot that we said on that. Now, on the back of that, something has just happened, and we wanted to touch this. Today I'll be just looking down a bit because I will be watching on my screen just to read a few things. I would ensure that you get the information, so don't worry, it will be available on the screen. Now I'll read this letter to you, this short note that is circulating and has given us the opportunity to share light on it. Now it says, applicant has applied for a postgraduate work permit. Applicant has done his studies in project management from Conestoga College and eligible for 3-year postgraduate work permit. That's the PGWP. Applicant also has rights for full-time work while he was doing online studies. Applicant arrived in Canada on 16th of September 2022 and working with Uber, or working in Uber, an independent work from January 2023. He was doing Uber more than 50 to 60 hours in a week. Further investigated officer noted that applicant was doing Uber whilst his online classes were going on same time. Applicant was more interested to do work rather than studies. Hence, he has not met requirements for PGWP, that is postgraduate work permit. So PGWP refused, that's the bottom line. And just to emphasize and to share this disclaimer that I am not an immigration consultant and I'm not an immigration lawyer. We are sharing our opinion. Our opinions are just commentary that we are just providing. It is our personal opinion. You are not bound to use anything that we're saying here. If you require any further assistance, you have other places that you can go to. Now, let me give you just a highlight of this. So every student, when you complete school, you are either approved for a 1-year postgraduate work permit or a 3-year postgraduate work permit, depending on the program that you did. So if you did, for instance, a 1-year program, most likely you will get a 1-year postgraduate work permit. Some people are lucky, they get 3-year postgraduate work permit, and so on. So if you look at the letter, this is a note that was sent to the applicant. So essentially, he applied for postgraduate work permit after studies, and it was refused. Yeah, bouncing, as we say back home. He was bounced. He was refused, rejected. You see, we sometimes take things for granted. In this country, there's something called SIN, Social Insurance Number. That SIN is linked to a lot of things. You cannot hide. Here, you say you are hiding under a stone, a camera is actually watching you walking down the stone. So it actually saw you before you went to hide under that stone. So this guy's situation is rather unfortunate, but that's the reality. And it can happen to you, it can happen to me. So we'll just take it one after the other and just explain it. So he applied for this postgraduate work permit after his studies, which is what everyone does. Whether you're studying online or in person, you can apply for postgraduate work permit. The government made that available once COVID hit. So from 2019, 2020, the government made changes and said that everyone, regardless of the mode of study, whether it's online or in person, you are going to be approved for postgraduate work permit. So applicant has done his studies in project management from Conestoga College. Conestoga is in Ontario. Now, applicant is eligible for 3 years. So the officer is confirming that this applicant is eligible for 3-year postgraduate work permit. Hooray, he's excited. That's the first part. Applicant also has right for full-time work whilst he was doing online studies. And I'll touch on something that the government did in October. So in October, most of us, if you were a student at that time, you would have realized that the government published a news release which allowed students to be able to work. And I'll read it briefly. So it says October 7, 2022, Ottawa. Employers are facing unprecedented challenges in finding and retaining the workers while they need during this period of economic recovery and growth. The government of Canada is working to take concrete action to address current labor needs. The Honorable Sean Fraser, Minister of Immigration, Refugee and Citizen, back then, he's no longer the Minister of Immigration, today announced the temporary lifting of the 20 hours per week cap on the work of hours that eligible post-secondary students are allowed to work off campus while classes is in session. From November 15, 2022. So this press release is October 7th. November 15, 2022 until December 31st, 2022. So until December, so it's still in force. International students who are in Canada and who have off-campus work authorization, off-campus, so on campus you're not part of it, on their study permit will be allowed, will not be restricted by the 20-hour per week rule. Foreign nationals who have already submitted a study permit application as of today will also be benefits from the temporary changes provided by. So I'll just leave it there. But this is not vague. This is pretty straightforward. You don't need a dictionary to be able to understand this. It says that from this day, which is October 7, so October 7, 2022, applicable. If you applied after October 7, so even if you applied November, December in 2022, you are part of it. Those who got their permits before October 7th, mind you, will not be part of this. And this is very tricky. I've had a lot of people come to me, we try to explain to them. If you don't understand, you have to call the immigration office if you are here to clarify. Don't just assume. So this guy clearly had no issues with working full-time. That is what has been reinforced on the letter. So I'll move on to the next one. It says the applicant also has right for full-time work while he was doing online studies. Applicant arrived in Canada on 16 September 2022. So he arrived 1 month before the news release that the minister gave us on October 7, 2022. So he qualifies and was working in Uber. So Uber is what you call it, an independent work. That's how they call it. So you are your own boss. You drive and do delivery, food delivery and all that. So an independent work from January 2023. So when he came in September of 2022, he didn't start work until January 2023. So he's okay. Now he was doing Uber more than 50 to 60 hours in a week. You see, this guy overworked. And as I said, or as I mentioned in the previous video, your main mandate or your main focus for coming into Canada and the main permit that was given to you was to come and study. Primary objective of you coming to Canada is to study. Please don't forget, primary objective is to come to study. So anything that you do aside studying is just a bonus. It has to be within the law. Make sure you're within the law. Already he's working 50 to 60 hours. The guy was working way beyond. Even me, as a full-time worker, I have a work permit. I don't work 50 hours a week. I work about 36.7 hours, maximum 42 or something. So he was working over. It is possible that maybe he was finding it difficult paying his fees or all of that. But that's no excuse because you told them that you had funds. Proof of funds you provided. You provided every information that you can pay for your fees. So that's no excuse. Further investigated. If you apply for any application in Canada, that's why it takes long. You would say that why are they delaying and all that? They go behind you to do a lot of investigation. It's part of their job. It's part of the requirement. They cannot just trust you on the face of the document you brought. They need to verification. That's the investigation part. Officer noted that applicant was doing Uber whilst his online classes were going on same time. I studied postgraduate at MBCC. We had the opportunity to do online classes. You know what happens? The school usually takes record of your attendance. Sometimes you think that they don't record it, but when the immigration requests for it, they'll provide it. So if you say you're in class and they call you, Jan, after 5 times, well, the teacher will notice that you are not in class. Sometimes people just they log in, turn off the camera, and they just do whatever they want. So clearly, he was attending the classes and working at the same time. How possible? We don't know. That's how the immigration officers will find out, because they will get a record from the school. Now, if we continue on the letter, it says applicant was more interested to do work rather than studies. Hence, he has not met requirement for postgraduate work permit. Postgraduate work permit refused. You remember I told you that we've heard that some people come into the country, they decide that they are not going to do the school. I want to just defer to next semester. Okay, you work. You provide your work document, your T4 and your tax document. Remember, when you're applying, they will request all of that. Then you will be requested to bring your transcript. Where are you going to find the transcript for the period that you didn't go to school? That is the problem. So this guy's case, he genuinely finished the school. He graduated, school gave him a letter of completion. After letter of completion, he applied. He qualifies. That's what he's saying. The officer is saying that he qualifies. He's not saying he doesn't qualify. The guy qualifies. However, you are not a magician. You are not a spirit that you can be in class at the same time and working at the same time. You are working and looking for money left, right, center. Please slow down. Even those who have full-time work permit, Master, they slow down. Please slow down. That is why when school is off session, school is on vacation, you can kill yourself with work if you want. 100 hours, 200 hours, it's up to you. But so long as school is in session, you have to work. So you see, the lessons that we are learning here is that you have to attend your school compulsory. You have no option. In my previous video, I mentioned it. There is no negotiation for this. School is a must, and you work part-time. In order not to get yourself entangled in this situation, if you did not get your study permit in October or within that period, you don't qualify for the 40 hours. Stop. If you're already working, stop, because they might request your T4. To be safe, just do your 20 hours. In between 22, 23. The fact that somebody is working 1,000 hours and they approved him doesn't mean that it will be same for you. Scapegoat number 1, that's him. So somebody was doing it, he was following the same sequence because they told him, oh, you can work and do your classes at the same time. And it has been investigated, and this is going to continue. After this is not just going to be this guy, another person will come again. What we are encouraging and advising you is take your studies seriously. Make sure you attend classes. Make sure you participate in your school activities. Make sure you work your part-time hours, because it will be very, 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 like, I don't know how to put it, but it will be discouraging that you will finish and you will not get your postgraduate work permit. And just to emphasize that it's not as if we're excited that this happened to somebody. No, it could have happened to any of us. We sympathize with him, but we are sharing this so that it becomes a lesson for someone else, so that it becomes a guide for someone else, so that it helps inform other people's opinion and changes their perception about the whole study permit thing. And we're just encouraging you that make sure you attend your school, take your studies seriously, and afterwards you will apply for your postgraduate work permit. Postgraduate work permit, this is showing us that it is not 100% guaranteed. You can be refused, yes, by virtue of such an incident or others. So make sure you do the right thing. And we continue to encourage you to follow us. Share this video with a lot of people. Don't be selfish. Share with anyone who is a student. Like the video before you leave this channel. Please like it. Don't just walk away. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And we're hopeful that this has been informative and it will help others. Somebody will ask, what are the options to this guy? I don't know. He might have a lot of options. Go see a lawyer, all of that. It's going to cost him money, but he knows what to do. So don't be in that situation. If you put yourself in that situation, you will be difficult to get through. Someone got it easy. You might not get it easy. We are always encouraging you to like this video and share with others. And until we meet another time, we say thank you so much for being part of this project. And this is Akwaba, Canada. Bye-bye.